Well, greetings everyone, and welcome once again to another Saturday right here at the SPORTSKRIB Fantasy Show. I see Reggie's here, running a little behind this evening, this morning, but hey, we'll get it done. So I see Reg is here. Reg, how are you doing this morning?
Always good, man. Ready to do the thing today, man. Always good.
Oh, okay. I see you wearing your Pittsburgh jersey today. I know your
I only get a
Falcons
chance to
are off
do
to.
it on Saturdays, man. I can't. It's too much Steelers going on that Wednesday show, man. I can't be adding to the Steeler fandom on the Wednesday show, but on Saturday shows I get to pull it out. You know what I mean? So I wear my Steelers gear on my Saturday shows.
Oh, okay. All right, all right. Plus, your Falcons are on a bye this week anyway. So
Yeah, might as well, right?
yeah. So how'd you do last week?
Mixed. Won the game. I won one. Actually, no. Wait. Yeah. I won 2 games last week and lost one. So out of the 3 leagues, I lost my favorite league I won in. That's the Extraordinary Gentleman League. I'm feeling very good about that league.
Yeah. You that's the keeper league.
That's the keeper league, and I'm feeling very good about that league. Still 4-0 there, and I won my game last week there. Lost my game in Bill's league. I got to see who Bill had last week. But I lost my game in Bill's league, and I won in the SPORTSKRIB league.
Oh, okay. All right. Any surprises for you last week?
Not really, man. Well, yeah, there was one actually. So in my home league, and it didn't really affect these leagues. So my home league, we had I went and picked up Woody Marks because I was like, hey, I don't know anything about the guy. I didn't follow him in college. I have no clue what this guy's going to do. But I'm going to pick him up. I didn't start him because I don't usually do that. If I pick up guys off the bench, off the waiver that are just popular guys, but I don't really know why I'm picking them up, I don't usually start them first week. But he went off for a couple touchdowns. So it's like that was my surprise of the week for me is how good Woody Marks did out the gate. You know, people said that he was an instant pickup. He's doing good and stuff like that, and he actually did.
Yeah. Unlike you, I did not listen.
Did you not pick up Marks at all?
I didn't pick up Marks. I did pick up you know study guy, Kareem Hunt. He was available in most leagues, and if I
Did he
didn't have,
score?
well, he gave me a few points. I'll put it like that. He didn't get shut out, but he's not a big scorer. He might get one touchdown, but he's you know
He seems very boomer bust to me. You know what I
yeah
mean? Like a boom bust back. You know.
well, the thing of it, as if you're a Kansas City fan, as a regular back, he does well. In fantasy league, like you said, he's a boomer bust. You know, kind of like
All right.
Xavier Worthy. You know,
All right. Worthy did pretty decent for me.
yeah, I picked up Worthy.
This game. This is his first game back, and it was respectable, at least for a first game back. You know, a lot of times you get eased into, you're on a snap count maybe or something like that, you know, and it felt like they were using him like he was healthy out there.
I can't wait until Rice gets back. I got Rice in a few leagues, but once again, we have some guys that are out. Tyreek Hill done.
Yes, devastating, right?
You know, and
In the
you
midst of
also,
having one of his best games that he's had in a while, he was having a game.
yes, he was.
And yeah,
Uh, him and now, speaking of guys to pick up, now, Ollie Sutton didn't do bad as far as, a guy that you might want to pick up.
I don't even know who that is. What team does he play for? Who is that?
Miami.
Oh, okay.
He's,
And as a wide receiver, he's a wide out.
no, he's the big, he's the big back. He comes in he's kind of like they used to use Algieri. Bijan
Is
gets
he
you the
doing goal line carries at all? Is that what he's
yes,
doing?
yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, he's the He's the big and he's the third down back. So
Okay. That means
uh,
he catches, right? If you're a third down back, you got to have hands to be a third down
yeah,
back.
yeah, and he, like I said, and he's a big guy. Um, let's see, neighbors out.
Mm. Yeah, it's
So
devastating as well, to be honest with you.
and that, I mean, when you see, like what Jackson Dart did, I mean, if Malik Neighbors had been available or it was available for the rest of the year, I'm impressed with the Giants, what they're doing with Scatterboo and Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I like that. I remember you asked me last week about this going into the week, and I told you how exciting of a time it was for the city to go in with these young skill players at exciting positions that can change the fortune of your franchise if things work out. And it looked like it was headed in that direction. And then you have the devastating neighbors injuries, like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But if Dart works out, hopefully neighbors can be on the mend, and New York has got something going and more entertaining football for all of us.
I thought Neighbors was out for the year. Was it just?
Oh, he is. He is. And I'm thinking like if but he's not old though. You know what I mean? I have
No, no, he's
one of
not.
the great things about these situations, they're young, they're all young guys, and they're all on the
Yes,
same
Slayton.
timeline if
Slayton
they
is.
work out, you know?
Slayton's only been there 2 years.
Yeah.
So he's
So
still,
not that long.
yeah. So I mean, they, like you say, they have a core of young backs. So yeah. Uh, Buffalo.
What about them?
Would you?
They won me some money last week, by the way. I used them in my DraftKings league. I won some money. I didn't see you out there. Speaking of the DraftKings league, I didn't see your lineup out there the last couple of weeks, James. I don't know
I
what's
was
going on
out
with
there.
you. You falling off.
I was out there a week before last. I didn't get in this week, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean last week, but
There's still opportunity for this week, man. It's opportunity to see your name on the board out here, man. Because I got to get as many wins against as many people as possible. I need to be able to talk as much as I can talk to as many human beings I can talk to, James. You know what I mean?
uh,
Last week I had a week. Last week, the week you weren't there is the week I had a week. Last week, man.
see, I I think I better come back in. That sounds like a challenge. I don't know.
It's a challenge. All my people that are in our DraftKings league are people I all know. So I'm definitely itching to beat every single one of them every single week, which has not happened until last week, by the way. I've been getting the one. I've been getting beat every week. But, hope springs eternal every Sunday, my friend. That's why I like that league.
Oh my goodness! There's so I do like DraftKings. I like the fact I can play the pick six. The little $5 bets. Like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but DraftKings, I think is one of the better formats, especially whether you're going long term best ball or whether you're betting every week.
I'm really liking the league situation. I've never done a league before in DraftKings, so I'm really liking it. Over the next couple of years, I'm going to really grow it, get it about 30, 40 players, and then get to where we got at least 25, 30 playing consistently. But I think it's going to take about a year or so to grow that. But yeah, once it gets going, I'm going to run it every year, man.
Yeah, make sure you talk about. Well, will you be there for this? I know you're leaving. What, next week?
Yeah, I'll leave next. Let me see. I'm going to be leaving for a few weeks, week after next, but I work next week. So I'll be on probably next Saturday. Won't be on next Wednesday. We'll probably be on next Saturday. And then after that, I'll be gone for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you want to tell the people where you're going and that your itinerary?
Yeah. Going to Egypt, going to Cairo. Gonna go fly in to Cairo, spend a couple of days there. Gonna take a day trip out into the desert, do some four-wheeling and stuff like that. Then we're going to fly to Luxor, go to the Valley of Kings, Valley of Queens, see King Tut, all that stuff. Fly back to Cairo, and then fly home. all over the next couple of weeks or so.
How long? How long is your trip going to be? The actual time that you
10-ish days. 10-ish, 12 days with a couple of days of travel time in there because we got to fly to Paris. We got a connecting flight in Paris. So We're gonna fly to Charles de Gaulle and then fly from Charles CDG to Cairo.
Now you've been. Is it Paris that you've been to before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last year it was Europe. So last year it was Madrid, Barcelona, Paris. Last year it was like my big trip last year.
Okay. Yeah.
With a bunch of small trips that I kind of take in between. Like I love going to New York, man. So I take a lot of trips to New York. I really love taking these trips.
Oh, what is it that you like about the Big Apple?
Man, I like about just being able to go there and have different activities to get into on daily because I'm a kind of guy who will fly someplace, and as crazy as people may think, I'll fly someplace, I'll spend a day there and just fly home. I've done it several times, and New York's just such a perfect place to do that for me because it only takes an hour and a half to get there from Atlanta. So I can walk out my door, go to the airport, fly an hour and a half to New York, hang out for the day, and fly an hour and a half back.
And they talk about the lifestyles of the rich and famous, right? Okay, all right. Okay.
This is a lifestyle of the frontier and famous. You know what I mean? That's where that budget airline, man, can go a long ways with those prices.
I've never Frontier, Spirit, and those. I've never ridden on them.
Frequent Frontier flyer here, man. We can do a whole nother show on that. I fly Frontier all the time, frequently.
Do they issue parachutes? The planes just,
They don't. But one of the things you got to remember when you're flying with these airlines is that they all fly the same airplanes. Airbus is making most of these airplanes for all of these airlines. So they're all flying like Airbus A30s or something like that. You know what I mean? Like when you got to look at the planes, if you look at a plane and they're flying Reggie's plane instead of flying an Airbus or a Boeing, that's when you got to start worrying. If you look at Spirit and they don't say Airbus or Boeing on it, then maybe then I'm starting to get a little bit worried. But I'm definitely going to look at the planes that I'm flying on. I'm just not getting on a name. I'll tell you that.
Let's see. Some other injuries. Chuba Hubbard is out.
Is he out? How long is he out for? I didn't see that one.
No, it doesn't give a timeline, but that means Rico Dow is starting this week.
Interesting, man.
What do you think about picking up Rico? There's a couple of teams we're going to talk about. Rico, for one, 1,000-yard rusher in Dallas, back up here in this on this team. But do you think that this is a chance for him to take over that starting job from Chuba Hubbard?
No, I don't because of the money. Didn't they just pay Chuba? I want to say like last year. In fact, they just re-upped Chuba for at least a couple of years guaranteed, I want to say. So it doesn't make sense to me to then move off of him the next year, like literally or so. So close to when you sign that contract, unless you just really feel like, unless Dowdle comes in and really look, if Dowdle comes in and he looks like Adrian Peterson or somebody out there, he's just killing folks, he's just racking up the yards. We know they're not going to. He'll at least be in a running back by committee now, if nothing else. I don't think Chuba will lose his job, but I think it will become a committee job though, because you're not going to sit the hot hand if Dowdle comes in and makes the most of the opportunity. Because that's kind of what these jobs are. When you kind of get the next man up mentality, you jump in there. It's kind of just trying to make the most of that opportunity and seeing if you're able to do so. Even if it's not on this team, you may have an opportunity or chance on another team. So it's a nice opportunity for Dowdle, but I don't know if Carolina is definitely moving off Hubbard because of it, though.
Well, like I've said, he was the only 1,000-yard rusher for Dallas. So, it's not that he doesn't have the ability, because he wasn't running behind the best line when he was in Dallas. So,
anytime you've had 1,000 yards in this league, it's impressive. I don't ever poo-poo that. Like Algier had it behind Bijan. So I don't ever poo-poo 1,000-yard run. If you have 1,000 yards in this league, then you're doing something right.
Let's see. Who else we got out? Pearsall.
Yes. Out. Is he out again?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's out, I think, at least another 2 to 4 weeks. I forget what's wrong with him. But,
he's a young injury riddled career, and it sucks because the first was no fault of his own. I think it was like a shooting or something like that. Remember
Yeah.
that happened to Brian Robinson as well. I want to say, but it was like a shooting or something like that happened with Pearsall, and he
Right.
came back kind of remarkably fast from that. To be honest with you, because he did come back from that.
Yeah,
Um,
he played that year, and he actually for the time that he was out because he got shot. Well, it wasn't.
Correct.
So
It wasn't a hamstring pull. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it was definitely his man definitely got shot.
wasn't soft tissue.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
no.
So uh, let's see, who else was out? Um, who else? Oh, Kettle, of course, but
Yeah, the 49ers had a few players. When you were looking at there, I was watching that 49ers game when they
Rob,
were showing all the
Rob,
guys out there,
Rob
man.
Purdy.
Purdy out, Kittle
Yeah,
out. Of course, Ayuk is still out. And then you have the other players, kind of Jawan Jennings and other players kind of stepping up. And I think that's admirable. Like the team
and
performed well. It was a testament of the coaching of
Bosa's
their
Bosa's out
organization.
too.
For the year,
Bosa's
I
out.
heard.
Yeah, Bosa's gone. Yeah. Uh,
That's I don't you know what's crazy about these is that people are out in these situations, and some of these are right after getting massive contracts.
yeah.
Massive
Yeah.
contracts that you're out. It happened to us here in Atlanta as well. So it just sucks, man. I wonder if there's a way that you can come up with some kind of insurance, something that the league can come up with.
Oh,
That just
I'm sure they all have some type of insurance. I don't know, exactly, but when you're paying a person that type of money, I'm sure there's, some kind of clause or something in the contract, especially
right.
if you're, you know, one of the major guys. I'm sure that they had their guaranteed contract, so I'm sure that the team has some type of you know insurance or something. If the player only kind of like DraftKings. If your player goes down early,
Oh,
you
you're
know.
done. You're done, right? You're done. That lineup is over with. You know what I mean?
So let's see. Where else we want to go here? Talked about Rice coming back. We talked about the impact of Worthy, uh, uh, instant impact as far as Kansas City's offense.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah. Patrick Mahomes, like I mean, and when Rice comes back, it's gonna get even better. So it's that you be look out for that Kansas City offense, man.
yeah, still concerned about our running backs. They're another, boomer bust.
In
Pachenko,
Kansas City,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
Pacheco either gives you big numbers or he gives you no numbers. Uh,
depressing.
Kareem Hunt, the same way. Either big game or But the thing, they do manage to put points on the board. You just, you're not going to get no points, but you might end up with only 6 points. On the other
Yeah,
hand,
correct. Because you don't know who's gonna get the hot hand. Like Kansas City, even from a wide receiver standpoint, they spread the ball around a lot. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You can have Thornton,
yeah.
you can have Juju Smith-Schuster getting catches out there. You got Worthy,
Or, or,
and
or,
Worthy, they'll
or
hand the
you
ball
had
off to Worthy.
yeah, or you got Juju catching 2 touchdowns, but that's the only two catches he has all game,
Stuff
and
like that is can be frustrating from a fantasy standpoint because you can't pinpoint the guy. You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
where dealing with a Garrett Wilson becomes less of a headache because you got a Garrett Wilson who's got terrible quarterback play, but at least you know he's gonna get everything. At least you
yeah,
know the lion's share of targets are going to this man. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's hard on other teams that are better teams and can spread the ball around. It's hard.
Yeah. Speaking of uh, the not yets, what did you think about when you think about the quarterback play? And you look at this here I am with my. This is a plate of Crow over here, in case anybody doesn't know. Uh, Steelers are 3-1. I'll talk about that in a minute. But in the
Mm-hmm.
meantime, going back to our division, you have now Cleveland. Joe Flacco is out. You're now down to the two backups, which would have been Shadir and Gabriel.
Would y'all hear they're running Gabriel out there? That's what I hear.
They not only are they running Gabriel out, but Shador is still number three.
Seems
It's
kind of
it,
weird.
it's
Seems weird.
it, it,
Because is he really number three? You know what I mean? Like I get where you list it, and I get it. I know that you're. I mean, from a or from a Joe Flacco standpoint, I don't think you're just gonna drop the guy. Uh, I don't think you're gonna drop the guy all the way to third. You know, you don't want to say, "Hey, you lost your starting quarterback job, but now you're the third best quarterback." Joe Flacco. I could see that Joe went from 1 to 2. If that's what I'm thinking, right? That's where Shador it'd be
yeah,
Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, Shador Sanders, right?
right. Well, that's all they
To
have
me, that's
left.
not crazy because I don't know if that's really what would happen, if that makes sense. So to me, that's not crazy because, like I said, Joe was the starting. Why would he go to if you felt so bad about Joe, why would he drop from 1 to 3rd? It makes more sense for Joe to drop from 1 to 2, in my opinion, and then give an opportunity for Shador to battle for that second position. And he drops from 2 to 3rd. But I do think that let's say Dylan Gabriel gets hurt, right? I think that road to Shador starting is closer, is shorter than people think. Like it may say that Joe Flacco is the second QB, but if Dylan Gabriel goes down, I'm hard pressed to think that maybe they run Flacco out there a game or two before they start Shador. But it's hard to see Shador not starting if Dylan Gabriel gets injured sometime
No,
this year.
if Dunley gets injured, I'm pretty sure that Shador will go in. Uh, at least, uh, at some time you have to look at it. So, uh, it, I think that's going to be a very interesting situation. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to pan out, but the Browns do have a young running back, and he hasn't been doing bad in fantasy.
At Judkins,
Yes,
okay.
uh, so uh, I'm not sure if unless you're really hard pressed, like I am in some leagues.
Mm,
I've
not a
lost
good place to be.
um, Jerry Judy, um, but you don't know who's throwing the ball to him. Uh, like we
You
just
got to see.
mentioned.
Well, we know it'll be Dylan Gabriel this week. And
Yeah,
we just don't know how that person's gonna. We just don't know how that person's gonna look. You know what I mean? We don't know what the person looks like is throwing the ball to them. But the great thing about that is that it's not always bad. I mean, sometimes you don't know what the person looks like, and it turns out to be better. Like you look at what Jackson Dart. Like sometimes you never know. The unknown is a absolute unknown. It can go either way. It can guy end up being great, guy can end up being terrible.
uh, so what's going on in your particular division? How do you feel? I mean, it's
Same old is what it looks like right now. Bucks still doing
yeah,
good.
potatoes. Yeah, Bucks are playing the Philly this week, I believe. The
Yeah, Bucks are still doing like to me the team Bucks are teams to beat. You talk to a lot of these teams, a lot of these fan bases, and they feel every year, at least what a lot of Falcons fans that I talk to are feeling every year that we're better team than Tampa Bay. And we did, I want to say, sweep them last year, but the divisions belong to them. Like I want to say the last 3 to 4 years, they won the division. So what are we really talking about here? Like there's nothing really to talk about. They are still the team to beat in the division. I think they still have a winning record now. They're still
yeah.
looking like the same team. They just got Ibuka. They're looking good there. Bucky Irvin's not old. So I don't the
Well,
team looks good
Bucky's
to
out.
me.
Buggy's out also.
And Woody, how long is he out for?
At least 2 to 4.
Aren't good, man. Two to
It's,
fours are not good at all. I'm looking at my lineups to see. I don't think I have any Bucky Irving.
that's why, hey man, I'm looking like a mash unit out here. You know, uh, who else? Who else did I lose? And then you pick up a guy and he's lost for the year. I tried to pick up Trey Benson. Now he's gone for the year. So I mean,
Me too. I picked up Trey Benson and he's out of here.
yeah.
But when I'm looking at Irving here, though, I don't see 2 to 3 weeks because they say Irving he was day to day. Let me see.
He was day to day until Wednesday.
And then at that point, if they take you out, it's a struggle for me to believe that you were day to day and then you go to pretty much IR, which would be 4 weeks. It's pretty much you go from day to day to IR. That injury got way worse.
No, that's why I said 2 to 4 because they haven't put him on IR.
Okay, so I'm thinking from what I'm seeing, I see that he has a chance to play next week. From what I'm saying,
yeah, well,
chance to play.
Well, that's why I said 2 to 4. Next week would have been next week. If he misses next week, that's 2. If he doesn't, then he'll be back in the lineup. But I'm also kind of leery about putting the guy back in the lineup the first time, depending on the competition. It's who he comes back against.
All your options too, James. Who else do you have to play? That also depends on a lot. Because for me, that's a lot of my fantasy decisions right there. These are the guys I got. Well, so I gotta put one of them in there.
Well, I might be getting Jones back next week after the Vikings come back.
That's Aaron Jones.
Yes. Okay. So
to the dismay of Jordan Mason owners there.
Yeah. But then again, when you look at the wide receivers, Addison hasn't been exactly catching everything.
Well, Addison only been back like 1 game.
Yeah, well,
he played 1 to 2 games, maybe 2 games for Addison. On a strong, maybe on the 2, but 1 to 2 games is all he's played.
But on the other hand, it's not like that's made a difference for Jefferson. But you have to look at who's throwing to him.
Correct. We're talking about Carson Wentz here. We have to really temper our expectations a bit here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then you go on and look at some of the other. What did you think about Jacksonville this year?
I looking kind of impressive, but my guy Travis Hunter doing absolutely nothing for my life right now. So I'm not happy about that. But I think if you got to be happy with the team looks competitive. Defense has the most takeaways I want to say this year out of all the defenses. So I think that how can you be upset? Like especially coming off how they used to look, like they were looking terrible. So we'll see if they can continue to make it happen. Trevor Lawrence continues to be just like upper mid quarterback to me. He's not terrible, but he doesn't seem to warrant being mentioned with any of the studs. So he's a definitive step below. And when you're looking at fantasy, he seems to be even a step below that because he does not seem to be a target or a quarterback I see any teams ever starting.
When Jaden went down last week, I actually passed over him and picked up Jackson Dart. So
that worked out for you pretty good.
Yeah, but that's when you talk about like fantasy value,
you'd rather take a shot on an unknown than pick up Trevor Lawrence. Is what you're saying? You're saying I'd rather take a shot on this kid I've never seen play than pick you up.
See, and Fields is also available in a lot of leagues too.
Man, that Fields is Fields is that quarterback, man. Is that quarterback? He is the he's a Gabe Davis of quarterbacks, I should say. I don't know if anybody knows Gabe Davis when he played for the Bills. Gabe Davis, you don't put him in your lineup, he's going to have 30. You put him in your lineup, he's going to have 2 to 3 points. And that was Gabe, boomer bust Gabe Davis. That was what he was when he was with the Bills. And it seems to be that Justin Fields can be the same guy. Justin has played like 3 games. He got 30 in one. He got like 10 in another game. And has like another 30 in another game. So it's like, what that those points are incredible. You know, the points are incredible. And he's definitely a much better, he always has been a much better fantasy quarterback than he has. He has the opposite of Trevor Lawrence going on, right? Like he's a much better fantasy quarterback than he is real life quarterback. But Garrett Wilson still manages to get his, which he's managed to do with terrible quarterback play. Well, imagine Garrett Wilson actually playing with quarterbacks consistently. But he's managed to still get his. And I think that Fields, if you're going to need a streamer quarterback, you got a guy at least who's capable of giving you 20 to 30. He can get you. Just know that he might get you 10 also.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Fields, much better position to remain a starting quarterback when you think about Russ. This could very well be Saradar for us. I mean, he's only on. I think he's only on a 1-year contract with the Giants.
Correct, which says that they're not in love with you anyway. Yeah, 1-year contracts are never.
But your backup is Winston, right?
Yeah, that's where it would be. And I talked about this on another show. And that's kind of like what you'd be dealing with. Like, do you keep Russ as a high quality backup who you can put into a game and feel like he can win you a couple games? Because I think Russ is definitely very capable of that. And for the amount of money you're paying him, I think at the time on the other show, I think they said it was like $10 million or so like that.
Yeah,
it's not crazy money. You're already being paid backup money. You know, you're being paid backup money anyway. So why not just keep him? But at the same time, if you're a team like the Bengals, I think you should trade for him because the Bengals are going to have to make a decision on where they either punt on the season after this week. You say, hey, well, this season's over. Because I think it's going to be very hard to really, in your heart of hearts, believe in Jake Browning. I'm not saying people would believe in Russ, but I just think it's even harder to believe in Jake Browning. And at this early in the season, with the Bengals, I think they're 2-2 right now. They need to really start looking around like, hey, do something here. Maybe you give Jake another year because Browning had one decent week, I want to say. I don't think he's had all terrible games. I want to say he had one decent week. So maybe you give him a couple more weeks. You got to get off the spot.
He wasn't last week because they only scored.
It was not last week. It was not last. And last week is probably why we're having these questions, these conversations now. Last week, because if he had kept playing like he had been playing, there's no need for these conversations. You know, you're just going to keep going. Well, we got Browning. He's doing his thing. They're winning games. They're looking good. No need to talk about it. But then you had the Browning game like last week, and that's kind of what you lack with backup quarterbacks. It's not that a backup quarterback can't come in and win a game or two for you. It's the consistency of backup quarterbacks that doesn't tend to do well, right? Like if you have to start a backup quarterback all year, you got to start them like 6-7 games, you'll start to see that fall off in there usually somewhere.
Well, you're talking about Burrow not being available until what is he out for the year or is it?
I don't know if he's out for the year. I think he's out late year. And in my opinion, if he's out late year, if you're doing very good, you're not going to start him because if you're doing very good, why not give him as much time to get back as possible? If you're only way I can see Burrow starting is if the playoffs are on the line, maybe, and maybe you feel like he's gonna give you a better shot. He definitively will give you a better shot. Or if you're losing terribly, let's say that you've only won 6 games by that time, and you're no chance at the playoffs. Then I don't see the point of bringing him back. So it's kind of like if you're really winning, why would you not keep going with the hot hand and give Burrow as much time as possible to rest up? And if you're losing to where there's no chance of playoffs, what's the point of bringing him back out there, take hits and stuff, get re-injured?
I'm thinking 10 or 12. He's either due back game 10 or game 12. But
so let's say he's back game 12. What if they're 4-8 at game 12? I mean, you still got a chance. You can still win 5 games and be at 9-8. So that's still salvageable to a certain degree. And I believe that Joe Burrow does have the talent to win the games in a row. So maybe if your situation like that, if he comes back in week 12, that's going to be a significantly different situation than if he comes back even 2 weeks later than that. So if he comes back week 14, those are where my scenarios more likely play out. If he comes back week 12, where there's still 5 weeks left, 5 games left, you can change your fortune with 5 games. So I could see starting him if he comes back at week 12.
Okay.
Unless you're just abysmal, unless you're like 2-10, something like, you know what I mean? Unless you're just abysmal.
Let's go with your scenario, and we'll say that he comes back in week 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right now you're 2-2. Say when you get, by the time he gets back, I think there's a bye week in between there. So let's say week 10, you're now 2-7.
Okay. 2-7. I mean, you still have opportunity there because if you rip off 7 wins, you can get to 9 wins, get your winning season. Still a chance for playoffs there. And I'm putting Burrow in at that point. I'm putting, even if I'm down, even if I'm 2, even if I've only won 2 games, if I have that many games left, because if he comes back week 10, that means he would have 7 games left. You put Burrow back in.
Okay.
Going in.
Now let's talk about your fantasy lineup in the meantime, where you have teams like I
see
do.
What we got here.
You have some teams like I do where I have Brown and Chase.
Okay. You say Brown like you have St. Brown and Chase?
No. What's the running back?
Chase Brown.
Yeah, the running back.
Chase Brown and then Jamar Chase.
Right.
Okay. Got you. Man, that's rough, by the way. That was looking very good early season. Right. Week 1, right. You were looking like a champ. Week 1. God, week 3, you're a very different reality. Week 3, 4, it's a very different reality there.
Right.
With those players.
So, like 2-7, what does this do with my fantasy value for Ty Higgins, for Chase, for Brown? I mean, can I hold? Do I hold on to them and hope that Burrow gets back?
What can you do? Like, the trade value's got to be decimated for either one of these players.
Right.
Like, if you're trading at the very lowest of the market, if you're gonna try to trade Chase or Brown, I feel like you need to wait until they have a go-off game and see if you can get off the hot hand. And also, you got to be monitoring Burrow's situation because you're gonna be mad if you wait. Because I feel like if you're gonna do it, you gotta
and you gotta remember, these are cannot cut guys.
Especially with Chase, right? Because Jamar was going one overall,
especially with Chase, with Burrow. No, I think Burrow. I'm not sure about Burrow.
I feel like Chase and Brown would be the only guys. I feel like Higgins was going outside of that. What is it? The first couple rounds, I think Chase went in some couple rounds of round 2s, but I feel like you could have got Brown in round 3s of some drafts. The only player that I know definitively is Jamar Chase, that you couldn't get him outside of the first round.
But like I said, but both of these are can't cut players. So you also have to be kind of leery of that.
Well, you're gonna have to just bench and wait. Because the thing is, I almost would prefer the can't cut situation. So if I can't cut you, there's nothing I have to think about. I just got to think about then starting you or not starting you. But I can't think about trading you. There's nothing I can do. Can you still trade a player? You can't just cut him. Can you still trade that player? Or is that player untradeable also?
No, you can trade him. You just can't cut him.
So when you come, and that's what I would think you'd have to do. If you're going to move off these players, you got to wait for them to have a great game. Like Chase had a great game with Browning, I think, at one point. So then you try to move off of him then at that given time. However, you got to be aware of some of the pitfalls of doing that. So one of the pitfalls of doing that is you really need to monitor Joe Burrow's situation. Is he out or is he not? You see what I'm saying? It's gonna mess you up if he was only out 5 weeks. versus being out the full year. If he's out 6-7 weeks and
No,
Joe
no,
Burrow runs back out there week 10-ish and Burrow's running back out there and you traded Chase, I mean, you better be, if you're going to trade Chase, you better try to get the bang for the buck right after he has a good game and for as many weeks as you can, because if Burrow's going to be back in a week or two from the time that you're thinking about trading him, that doesn't make sense to me. You might as well just hold him till Burrow.
He just had the surgery 2 weeks ago.
So would that make it at least 8 weeks out? Is that a 10-week? How many weeks is that? Is it 8 weeks total? A couple months total recovery? What do they? Because I know that one person told me that the typical recovery time on that can be 3 months, and that could be 12 weeks. And that would be terrible.
That's what I said. 10 to 12.
If he puts 10, so if he's only been out 10, James, and you got to add 10 more weeks to that. We're in week what? Are we in week now? Week 5 that we're going into right now?
Right. So
you'll be back in week 15 No, you're done. No, only runs to week 17, 18, week 17-ish or so.
He's been out for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it would be 8 more weeks because he was
best case scenario is right. 8 case week. Worst case scenario is adding 2 to 3 more games to that. So if we do the range, so you say 10 to 12, right? At the 10 weeks, we got 8 more weeks, right? That puts us at week 13-ish. If we go right now with just a 10-week example, because he's already been out too. So we're looking at either week 13 return or a week 15 return.
Right.
At the absolute earliest. When you're looking at a lot of fantasy seasons, James, a lot of fantasy seasons are already in the playoffs by then.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But in the meantime,
you got to get out of Chase. You got to get out of the Jamar Chase business now. As soon as he has a big game, I'm out the business. I'm selling him.
But if he does it, but if you got, the offensive line isn't going to get any better.
No,
and with Joe Burrows, you're winning shootouts. There are no shootouts with Browning. You either win the game or you don't.
It'd be interesting to see. Let's see how he progresses through these couple games. He has a couple more games to kind of put some more film down. But I think like any backup quarterback, I mean, you're not exactly. I guess you're hopeful, but are you really expecting him to approximate anything close to what Burrow looked like? I don't think those are even the expectations. If you come out and you look like 30-40% of Burrow, people will be excited about that.
Another quarterback down, Lamar Jackson.
I wonder how long Lamar is out for. I don't really have much Lamar this year. I didn't draft a lot of Lamar.
I didn't draft a lot of Lamar, but then again, Lamar is one of those. If he's down, that I know. People don't like to use the word soft, and I understand that he's been MVP, and I understand all that, but there are certain times when. I think Lamar is soft mentally.
Why you saying, oh, man, goodness gracious. Shot at Lamar.
And the reason why I say that is because if you look at that last game, the game where he took himself, where they took him, however that scenario went, because that was the game of the week here. I'm not sure.
It was Baltimore, and who was it? Baltimore, and I gotta look at this because it didn't look like. What's crazy is that game just did not look close. Baltimore looked like a shell of themselves this year.
Right, and the defense,
especially on defense, but they have a lot of injuries. They got a lot of injuries though. Roquan, I think, is out now. Like they have a lot of injuries on that defense, man.
I understand that, but then you're also putting up 40 points on the board.
Correct.
But in the last game, if you looked at it, he seemed to get frustrated. And when Lamar gets frustrated, once you get in his head, it seems like you're there. Now,
okay, was it Kansas City they played? They played Kansas City.
Right. They played Kansas City. Kansas City had taken most of his wide receivers out of the game. they had shut down Derrick Henry.
You say most, you mean Flowers. Because, I mean,
Right,
it's Zay Flowers and a bunch of guys. It's my guy, D.
right,
Hopkins, Rashard Bateman, I want to say.
yeah. As a matter of fact, uh, I'm looking at, and I talked about this when it happened. They have, I think is it Cooper Rush, the guy, the backup.
Yeah, the backup quarterback for Cowboys, I want to say, who used to
Yeah,
be backup quarterback for Cowboys. Yeah.
and I think
He won some games for the Cowboys too,
he
when
won,
he,
he
as a
won
matter of
like
fact, when he
seven,
was
he
playing.
won like 7 in a row for the Cowboys. So it's not like, I have much better. I have more confidence in Cooper Rush than I have in Jake Browning. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that's earned. Cooper's earned that. You know what I mean? He's earned having more
But
respect than
Browning
Jake.
actually has the better
Skill players,
skilled personnel,
weapons. Yes,
right?
yes. Uh,
So
skill players are better there, but the organization is not better. So here's the thing, too: organizations do matter, and I think that there's certain things like that's why I've always loved the Steelers. One of the things I loved about the Steelers is not just what it takes place on the field. I love the organization. I feel like it's a winning organization. I think the Ravens are a winning organization. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles with Howie Roseman, these are winning organizations to me. They're winning programs, winning teams. So that's kind of what is looking crazy to me in Baltimore right now. It's like Baltimore, they're a winning organization, winning team, and when they're going up against another team like Kansas City, Kansas City like it was in a different class. I know that Lamar has spoken before about hating to play Patrick Mahomes because he was like, Patrick, he always beats me and I hate playing him. So I can imagine, let's say you're Lamar and things are going a certain way and Patrick is over there wheeling and dealing. Do you start to think about those other times? Like, oh, here we go again, man. Like every single time I'm playing this guy, here he goes again, and does that start to creep in after a while, when things aren't going your way?
That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm sure he feels the same way when he plays Josh Allen. But you don't feel that way when you're playing Dylan Gabriel or.
No, I think that he respects them though, like for what they are though. So there's got to be a brotherhood there in the sense of like those top quarterbacks. They've been mentioned as top quarterbacks, and who's crazy is Jalen Hurts not being put in there. But somebody released some crazy stats on Jalen Hurts. You really could add into those top quarterbacks when you're talking about Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, which is kind of like the trifecta, and Burrow's distant fourth there because there's injury issues, but definitely solid when he plays. You really got to start to look at players like that next tier of players, like that Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts area right there is very close to those three guys. It's very close to those three guys. Three guys.
You got to put Daniels in there somewhere.
Jaden Daniels is in as well. Only reason I'm
When
not
you go
putting
down to that second
he
tier,
hasn't had as many years proven at that as the other guys have, whereas Baker's been cooking for a couple years, and I want to say the same thing with Jalen. They've been cooking for a few years. So Jaden Daniels, I definitely hope he does because he's my fantasy QB. So I definitely hope he continues to cook the way that he has. But Jaden's also missed 2 games this season. I can't put him in. He hasn't earned that. So Jaden's got to work his way into there. But I do think that when you're looking at players like Mayfield and Hurts that don't often enough get mentioned enough with Patrick Mahomes, because when you look at the yards and the touchdowns, it's none of those guys who got the most. Baker Mayfield has the most. And it's none of those 3 quarterbacks that we think about. Now, the only reason I still hold those quarterbacks in higher regard than a Baker Mayfield, not necessarily Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is still up there, a lot closer to those other guys because of his Super Bowls appearances and wins. But is that I don't feel like any of these guys would trade their guy for Baker. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's a good chance that Tampa would trade Baker for one of these other guys. You know what I mean? Until that happens, until I can say that would never happen, it's hard to put Baker in there. But when you look at that, same thing with Jalen Hurts, they were doing a side-by-side comparison of Jalen Hurts to Lamar, and it's a lot closer than people think. And Jalen's winning some of those stats. Jalen's winning some of those stats. So,
but Jalen is
crazy
another
what's
one
happening with the Ravens right now. Just in general, it's just crazy because I have a lot of respect for that team. But I don't personally think Lamar is weak-minded. I think Lamar is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I just feel like he's going to have to take that next step in order to be considered one of the greats. Like he's got to take a step and get it. Not necessarily. I don't think he has to win the Super Bowl. Just getting there would be great. Because Super Bowl, I think that would be remarkably great for his career, as it would be for most. But when you're a guy that's already reaching the mountaintop of the regular, because he's already on the mountaintop now. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you're on the mountaintop without ever going to Super Bowl. So that would supercharge a career like yours.
See, I was thinking that this year, because of the competition, that it would actually be the year that Lamar could actually establish himself as the MVP of the league. And the reason why I said that is because when you look at the competition that we have as the AFC North, if he could beat the teams of the AFC, of the NFC North, if he could beat the Minnesota.
The NFC North is difficult to beat.
Right.
These days.
Right. And we have to play all 4 teams. So if he could have made a good showing against the NFC North, and then as you mentioned, he also has to play the Bills. Well, the Bills, they've already played. The Bills beat them 41-40. So
that's another thing too, man. That Josh Allen is putting a ceiling on Lamar's career in this sense, that I thought last year for sure that Lamar had a better season than Josh Allen and easily should have been the MVP again last year. The only thing that made me move off of that is when they had their head-to-head game. It's kind of like the MVP bowl for me in my head, kind of. You know what I mean? Like who wins this game? And there's something about watching the two players play in the sense of like there is when you're watching players like it will make a Josh Allen or and Lamar is still in this category, I think statistically. But what makes those players like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes different is just the feeling that they're never out of the game. The feeling they're never out of it. You know what I mean?
Yes, and that once again goes back to the mental toughness. Because if you go into a game, oh man, Patrick Holmes, I got to play Patrick again. Oh, he's beating me every damn game. You know what I'm saying? Like
that doesn't mean he doesn't think he's going to win, though, James. I mean, like he could be.
I mean, did you go
going to win this game?
Do you go into a 10-round fight wanting to win 5 rounds or 6?
Do you think that he's going into that game I don't think that he goes into those games thinking he's going to lose. I just think that sometimes when things start to go a certain way,
then he accepts that,
and it's gone that way before.
Then he accepts it. As soon as he got behind Kansas City, you could see the whole, like countenance of his face change. You could see it. Oh man, here we go again. And I'm really thinking that I'm not saying that he when you put them together, okay, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, and then you go to head. How many times has he beaten Patrick Mahomes?
Man, it's rough. But that's like most people who play Patrick Mahomes. That's not even fair to Lamar. You know what I mean? Because Patrick has beaten.
But you're the MVP. I mean, you're the MVP. What do you mean I'm being unfair?
Because Patrick has beat everybody.
But Patrick doesn't win the MVP every year. Every year it's either
he doesn't, because a lot of times when you're looking at people are giving Andy Reid a little head nod there and say, "Hey, Andy, you're doing some of this because of Andy." And Patrick's numbers have not been MVP numbers, so he hasn't necessarily deserved to win MVP either. But at the end of the day, the guys that approved it deserve that credit.
Lamar Jackson when he comes to my house.
Well, I feel like you deserve that because you've done it, James. Like you deserve it. Like you deserve to believe that you're gonna do what you've done before. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it ain't gonna happen every time. I mean, Lamar. I think Lamar is an excellent talent, and I think it's only a matter of time. And he hasn't had a lot of players to throw to. It ain't like he's got Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy running around out there on Buffalo or in Baltimore. And another thing too, you got to be thinking about that also, because that's the first game where Worthy was back that game against Baltimore.
Wait a minute. Now, hold. Okay, who would you rather be thrown to? Jay Flowers or Juju Smith-Schuster?
Not necessarily Juju Smith-Schuster. However, it's those other guys. Is that because if you say Zay Flowers or Xavier Worthy, I'm taking Worthy over Flowers any day. I am.
But my point is, there are games when Travis Kelce doesn't have a good game.
True.
There are games when Pacheco doesn't have a good game. There are games, but with the Ravens, Lamar has to have a good game, or at least it used to be that way. They are now
Henry, one of them does.
Yeah. See, boom or bust, him or Henry. Whereas Patrick is able to kind of distribute the ball around. Even when you look at the record of a guy like Coleman, it's not always Shakir with Buffalo.
That's crazy because Buffalo. You can argue easily that Buffalo has a worse set of wide receivers than Baltimore does easily. Because and you know what, you're just kind of proving that too, in the sense of like maybe that's where the distinction is. So the distinction is when you're looking at Lamar, and plus I can't really even say that's 100% distinction, because Zay Flowers Lamar Jackson's been Lamar Jackson his entire career. Zay Flowers just got there. So it's ain't like Lamar hasn't been Lamar his entire career, showing that he can prove that he can just throw to anybody out there. He's had to do the exact same thing that Josh Allen. And at one point, when Josh Allen had Diggs, it was a reverse situation. So Josh Allen at one point had Diggs and had Gabe Davis. I can't say Lamar Jackson has ever had a Diggs and Gabe Davis on his team, ever. Not two. He's got a Zay Flowers who's somewhat, in my opinion, in between a Diggs and Davis. Like, he's better than Gabe Davis, but he's not as good as Stephon Diggs was in the heights of Stephon Diggs' career when he was in Buffalo. So he's better than what's been there, but at the same time, I think that a good point is brought up in the sense that Patrick can just kind of throw to anybody, a lot of guys. Josh Allen is making it happen with just a bunch of guys.
How long has Patrick been without Tyreek Hill?
Some years, but Rashee Rice was spelling pretty good for him. Rashee Rice is spelling pretty good.
But we were saying, Tyreek's gone. Who's going to be that guy that takes off the top? It looks like me and you could suit up and at least play tight end.
Number 15, man, he's gonna get us the ball. He's gonna get us the ball, man, at some point.
But I kind of, like I said, I mean, it just seems that, he beats the teams that he's supposed to beat. I think Lamar,
and they beat them down too. They usually be beating them down to the ground.
Right? But then like. So, how much of a fall off is it going to be? Another, when you look at the two backs, you look at Derrick Henry, and Derrick, I'm not saying, that he's not getting, older, but maybe, but I do think that they're going to have to make some adjustments with Derrick. Especially with Cooper Rush, because with Cooper, even though he played behind a weak Dallas line,
man, he had one good game so far, one breakout game for Henry. Just looked at the stats here, and the other games are mid.
Yeah, well mid games. I'm looking for a breakout game for Saquon. Saquon was held to 56 yards last
Yeah,
week?
That's true. A lot of people looking for that. The problem, and then there's a massive problem here with the Eagles team, and there's a massive problem with the Eagles, and this is a problem that Kansas City had at one point, and it's a great problem to have if you're the Eagles organization. You love it. If you're a fantasy owner, you hate it. The problem is the Eagles are too good. The Eagles are too good. And at any of these given guys, they just don't need you. On any given day, we don't need you, AJ. We don't need you, Devontae. We don't need you, Saquon. We need one of you But on any given day, we don't need any of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're going to beat teams down. Like, not only are we not giving you the ball, Saquon could have 50 yards and they beat a team by 20 points.
The defense scores 2 touchdowns.
So when you have stuff like that happening, what do you do? Like, because it's so good. It's like the AJ Brown when they were talking about the drama, and I think AJ tried to come out and dispel some of that. But it's like the drama in the sense of like, how much can I complain when we're 4-0? How much can I complain when we're perfect? You know what I mean? And teams are hoping they were us. The teams are hoping to be us. What can we really complain about? And that's the problem when you have a player that's in a great offense, because at any given day, they just don't need you. It was the same thing when the Niners had all these players. They had Kittle, they had McCaffrey, they had Ayuk, they had Deebo Samuel. At any given day, they don't need you to win and beat teams down. You know what I mean? So
they're 4-0
problems for you.
They're 4-0, and I don't believe that AJ Brown has a touchdown pass yet.
If you have stuff like that happen, I think he may have does he have any? Even if he had 1 in 4 games, that would be way below his average.
Check it out. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a touchdown because I had him on
look at AJ Brown stats for this year. I know that they're down for sure this year. Let's see. Yeah, he got one against LA. But that was a 1 game. But AJ Brown's had 1 game, and the thing is, everything came in that game. So when I mean 1 game, that was the game that AJ Brown had over 100 yards, and it's 1 game. So in the same game, AJ Brown had over 100 yards. His long was 38. So about 30% of those yards came on 1 play. And he scored a touchdown in that same game. So that means he had a game.
Yeah, a touchdown in 4 games.
In 4 games. And when you're looking at the guy, and the team is perfect. You see what I'm saying? The team is perfect without your contributions, bro.
Look at Saquon in the last 2 games.
Let's pull up our boy Saquon. Now Saquon can be leaving a lot to be desired, only because of the monster year that Saquon had last year. So you're looking at Saquon's last year, you're like, what's going on? Saquon, the highest yards he has is 88. He's got 3 touchdowns though in 4 games. I mean, that's not terrible. He's giving you 3 touchdowns in 4 games.
One of those is the same game I think that AJ Brown scored.
It's actually the opposite. That 1 game that AJ Brown had a touchdown, he had no touchdowns. Every other game besides that game. So the game that AJ had the touchdown was against the Rams. Okay. Against the Rams, Saquon only had 46 yards and no touchdowns.
And what did he have last week?
Last week he had 43 yards, but he did have a touchdown.
Yeah. Okay. But I know he
and 4 receptions.
Yeah.
But not like he ripping off the 30, 40 yard touchdown runs that he was doing last year. But when you look at the team, at the end of the day, sometimes this is where you kind of get carried away, I think, with fantasy to a certain degree.
They've even changed to tush push. You know,
they faked the tush push the other day, and people were highly upset about that. They play action out of the tush push, and people were pissed about that. You know what I mean?
I was one. I can't be, But hey, I know you're kind of like, let's get our lineups in here. Have you have you played in the Smash Mouth? How are you doing there?
I played last week. I got to get a lineup in for this week because that lineup takes longer because of the cards. So the thing about the other lineups, my other lineups are kind of set. The DraftKings lineup, when I do DraftKings, I'm only like 6-7 players. You know what I mean? It's very quick, 6-7 players. Whereas with the Smash Up, I got to play the cards. It takes me a little bit longer to get that lineup in, but I do plan on getting it in because the cards are kind of what adds the fun to it. It's a different game.
Yeah. I finally beat my first coach. Took me 4 weeks, but I moved on to my second round there. But I was last week I lost by. No, I mean, week before, I lost, week 3 it was. I lost by 1 point.
I'm going to look at my lineup to see what I did here.
But
all right.
I'll tell you what, let's get our SPORTSKRIB lineups out the way, and then I should be kind of ready to let you go here. You were talking
Let's look.
about.
So we were jumping in the sports crib lineup. You said right.
Yeah, well,
All right.
let's start. Let's see the one that you're 4-0. I think
That's
you might
the extraordinary gentleman league, my keeper league. So unfortunately, with that league, Bijan's out this week. I did have Puku, did well for me. So Allen, I have Josh Allen, Derrick Henry. No, now that Bijan is out this week, I'm starting David Montgomery. Abuka, one of my favorite players. I just really like that kid, man. I liked him. I like him a lot. Nakua, who did very well for me.
Godwin is back, right?
Who's that?
Godwin.
Yes, he played last week anyway. And I'm glad I'm looking at this lineup because I got to get my guy Chris Boswell out of here. So let me go ahead and make those. Go ahead and do that. We only have one IR spot there. Boo. So I got to drop somebody to do that. Okay. So it looks like I'm going to have my guy, it might be Keon Coleman. I'm not sure what we're going to do here. I'm just so loaded on this team. So I need to get a kicker. I got to figure my kicker situation out here. I got Jacoby Myers, Broncos defense, and Boswell. Broncos defense going up against Philly is not great. But I think I got to have to play them, though. I don't see any road to not playing them. So that's what's going on here now. I'm going to drop somebody. I think I might drop Calvin Ridley. Let's look at his game log. Yep. Calvin, you're out of here. That's an easy drop right there. He's still rostered by 76% of leagues, but if you look at Calvin,
his numbers, I can tell you, yeah, his numbers are terrible. I've had him on my bench for long, so I can't really run him out. But here's my problem. Okay, on IR right now, I have Joe Burrow and JJ McCartney because I picked JJ because he was the only viable one that was left. But I have Bucky Irving and Mike Urban also that are out. Okay. And then I have
Mike Evans. So Evans and
yeah, Mike
Evans, Irving, both out, is what you're saying.
Both out.
Okay.
Burrows and McCartney both on IR.
Goodness gracious. Yo, so in this league, there's only one IR spot.
Wait a minute. So which one are we looking at?
We're looking at the Extraordinary Gentleman League.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the SPORTSKRIB League. Hold on.
Yeah, go back to that Extraordinary Gentleman League there, buddy. Because we only have one IR spot in there, and I have Kittle, and with Lamb out, that's kind of really messing up my whole situation right now. Like I got to carry Lamb on my bench.
All right, now, yeah, this might be okay. All right, let me see how I'm looking here. Okay, here I have Evans, and in my IR spot I have Aaron Jones. I also
and you have Evans on your bench then.
No, Evans is on my bench. Jones is in my IR spot, and I have Purcell who's also out. So my lineup this week is Jalen Hurts,
okay,
R.J. Harvey.
Interesting.
Who is, well, when I look at my backups here, there really are none. Well, let me go through the rest of my lineup. I have Jordan Mason as my running back. Then A.J. Brown.
Ooh, he got you 2.7 points last week. Oh, man. A.J. owners got to be steaming out here. I'm telling you.
And Nico Collins.
Okay, I like Nico.
Both of them are I can't cut them anyway. My tight end is McBride. My flex, I actually have Quentin Johnson. I like Quentin. I like Quentin, but again, he's he's kind of a boomer bust, but he's
Quentin
also
won me my DraftKings league last week, by the way. Quentin's what helped me win my DraftKings league
I
last
I
week.
I picked up Quentin over a lot of them because not only is he one of Herbert's favorite targets, but he also has very good hands,
Yeah.
and he's good. You know, he's usually good for double digits. Last week, I think he got me like 17 or something like that, whatever it was.
So last week he
Uh,
got you 10. Hold on, let me see. I can tell you what he got you. I'm looking at this now. Last week he got you 23. He got
he
you
got me
23.4, 23.8 last week. And then the week before
23.8.
that, he got you 14. So he's been a solid receiver, one of the most solid receivers. His position rank right now is 4.
Yeah,
And I did not pick the guy up. My dumb behind picked up Hollywood Brown instead back in the day. When I had a chance to pick up Quentin Johnston, and I picked up Hollywood Brown because Xavier Worthy went down, I panicked, and I picked up Hollywood Brown instead of picking up Quentin Johnston, and I've regretted it ever since.
yeah. So I picked up Quentin in a lot of leagues, especially when Evans went down. I was able to pick him up, so that was a good pickup. I
Yes,
still got
sir.
the
It has
Eagles.
been.
I still got the Eagles defense. Uh, they got me 8.5 last week. And
Okay.
then the week before that, they won the game for me with the 2 blocked field goals plus the touchdown. So,
Man, that'll do it, right?
yeah, that'll make you stay with them. I was kind of disappointed uh, because in some leagues I picked up the Ravens defense, and I actually had to kind of give them up after they gave up 90 points, over 90 points. My kicker is Jake Elliott, so that's no big deal there. But he is consistent. They have been scoring points.
Hey, you
Uh,
want to do the sports crib league now?
okay, we can do the sports crib league now. I can go back to the sports crib league. Okay, give me your line.
I'm running out. So this is an interesting situation. I am gonna run out Justin Fields this week. My
Ooh,
choice here is to run out Justin Fields or Jared Goff. I really love drafting those two players together. So I really love having Goff and Fields on my team because they're two very different quarterbacks. And I can use Goff to spell for Fields. I like Fields because of the rushing upside. There's a good chance, like you saw last game, he'll rip off a 20, 30-yard run. Easily for Fields, it can happen. He's more likely to do that than he has to have a 30, 40-yard pass. Like it's just each one of these things are just as likely with Fields at quarterback. So I like that element. So I'm starting him over Jared Goff this week. This is where things get kind of murky, though. I got Derrick Henry, but because I had James Conner on this team, and he is out. So I have DeMarcado starting in that spot. I feel not good about that at all. Don't feel good about that. But it's who I got starting for Connor here now that he's gone. Garrett Wilson, Xavier Worthy at wide receiver. Zay Flowers in my flex spot. I have Trey McBride, tight end, Lions defense, and Butker at kicker. That's who I got going.
all right. Let's see. As I said, I got 4 guys out here. Uh, so
Crazy.
uh, here's Matt Stafford is my quarterback. So I already got 25.5 points from that game.
Yeah. Very nice. Stafford, man. I got him as backup on I got Stafford backing up Jaden Daniels in my home league, and it's really challenging Jaden Daniels for that number 1 spot. Like it's hard not to put Stafford in with what he's been doing lately.
Yeah. And then my running back is Gibbs and
I
R.J.
do like this
Harvey.
one.
I think I
A lot
said
of
that.
RJ Harvey, man. Oh, you got a heart
Well,
those lineups.
I couldn't. I mean, he was the best available running back that there was after I had lost Bucky Irving,
Okay.
because Bucky Irving would my starters normally would be Gibbs and Irving.
I'm
Uh,
surprised you're carrying McCarthy in your one of your IR spots. It's surprising to me. I
well,
think I
I
would have
had
took McCarthy
well,
out of there and put Irving or somebody else in there.
I probably will, but the thing of it was that the best quarterback that was available was Geno Smith. So I have Geno Smith on my bench, which, if, like you said, I could drop McCarthy or I could, move one of these other guys. But the thing of it is that I have to keep two guys down, and those two guys went out first. you
Okay.
know, uh,
Gotcha.
uh,
Gotcha.
you know, Burrow went out after the first week, and McCarty went out after the second week. So
So you
they
feel they were already filled pretty much then.
right,
And then you had
right,
Evans and Irving and stuff like that. But
right,
okay.
right. So it kind of ended up that way.
Yeah, by the
Uh,
way, Joe Burrow's estimated return is December 14th, by the way. To
okay,
throw that
so,
out there.
yeah, is that not week 10?
December 14th. That's gonna be further than week 10 because the season only goes what to the end of December in general. The season's over what the first week or so into January. How far
All
into
right,
January do we go?
like I said, 10. So like I said, at least 10 to 12 weeks.
Yeah, it's looking more like the 12 end is what it's
Yeah,
looking like.
yeah. So so I could actually probably drop both of those and put Evans and Irving in there. But in the meantime, now I'm stuck, kind of stuck with Geno Smith as my backup. So I have to, But anyway, to go on, it gets worse.
Okay.
James Williams, shooting is my wide receiver one, but my wide receiver two is Cooper Cup.
Goodness gracious. I mean,
Uh,
maybe
like I
those names, when you put those names in here, anything can happen, James.
And like I said, it gets worse. Even though my tight end is Hunter Henry, and he's
Not
putting
that's
up
not
decent.
terrible.
No, he's putting up decent numbers. He's averaging about 11 points. But then now I get down to the quandary because I have to put Higgins in as my flex.
I mean, that's not a terrible decision, but it's not great.
Well,
Only because the player
I have
he's on.
I have Golden. The Green Bay is on a bye week
Bye.
this week,
Yeah.
so so I can't put in you know either Matt Golden or my other wide receiver is Mike Evans, of course. So you know I'm stuck with Cooper Cup and T Higgins, and like I said, like I don't trust Browning. And last week, T. Higgins got me 6.2. So, you know, but my defense is the Bills, even though New England usually plays them pretty tough, but I think Josh and them are on a run.
Yeah.
So I got the Bills are my defense, and Prater is also my kicker. And he's doing well. He got me 7 points last week, uh, which usually if you're picking a kicker, usually the in DraftKings, if you can pick a kicker to get you more than 6.5 points, you're usually doing well. So that's
Another thing too, on that Joe Burrow situation, just like we had said earlier, that date that I mentioned that he's estimated to come back would put him at week 15.
yeah. So so
Week
like
15. So you might, James, right? But how do you drop him though, right? Like, would you need confirmation of
you
that to move off of
can.
IR?
And like I said, hopefully he's a quarterback that you can drop.
It depends on where you drafted him at. Like, it depends on what round because I know it in Yahoo, it's usually the first couple of rounds you can't cut. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You can't drop the
it's
first couple of
usually
rounds.
yeah. Usually you can't. It's usually drop around 3.
Yeah, from round 3, usually round 3 and under, you're good. But for your first couple of picks, usually you're stuck with.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully, Burrow was not one of your first couple of picks, James. I'm going to give you enough
No,
credit to say that Burrow was probably not your second pick.
no, he was not. He was not my second or my third. So hopefully, usually I think if I had got Joe Burrow, it was in the 4th round or
It's
early.
interesting to see that's still just a hard name to drop, man. Week 14, once you get to week 13, guys, in fantasy. You're getting into a real scary situation. Week 13, 14, 15 in the actual NFL. You're getting into it. The meat of the fantasy season is pretty much all the way into at that point, you know?
Now, and then again, now, if you're talking about dropping Joe Burrow, period,
Right.
okay,
Right.
then
Okay,
do
look
I
at the
keep?
quarterbacks. Let's look at the quarterbacks now and see who's available. Let's go look at the players.
I believe you'll find Tua is probably number one. Uh,
Not
the
excited
number
about that.
quarterback left on there. If you're looking at quarterback,
Easy. Here, I'm taking Dart. Taking Dart. I see. So what I see, the list I see here, I see Bryce Young, Dart, Tunga Valoa, Jake Browning, Trevor Lawrence, Spencer Rattler, Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, Rush, Mac Jones, who actually did very good, and Cam Ward and Dylan Gabriel kind of going down the list. There were those guys all the way down.
right?
Top of the list starting with Bryce Young, but I like Dart more than Young, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, that was, like, do I take Dart or do I take Geno Smith? And that was before Dart. But that was before Dart had played.
He's available now, so that's just a move I would make now. Yeah. Looking at your team. But the thing is you already got Stafford now. Let's see here. You already got Stafford.
Stafford's my
already kind of on your way now. You know what I mean? It's not as attractive now as it would have been pre-Stafford. You're kind of on your way. So I don't know. Maybe you look at other players and see if you can get other positions better. But I don't know. At the point, it's really not a question about Jackson Dart, more so than a question of if you're going to carry Joe Burrow in that spot. You know what I mean? Like, are you going to hold him there, or are you going to move some things around, clear up some roster spots?
Of course, the way things are looking right now, I'll get rid of Joe Burrow since he's not due back until December, and I'll move, Mike Evans down to that spot.
So you have the potential to clear up two roster spots. It looks like, for at least potentially to clear up two roster spots.
I can't clear those two up because then I would have to put Bucky Irving and Mike Evans on, and in
the IR spot.
Yeah.
You can take them out. If they're playing, you can always take them back out. You know what I mean? It's not like you got to keep them there for 4 weeks. You can take them out next week.
Irving might be back next week. I'm not sure about the timeline on Evans, but I'm not going to drop those two, and, like you said, right now it's between Jackson Dart and whether I keep Geno Smith. But, that's...
Geno Smith has not been setting the world on fire, man.
No,
he did have the win game against Washington where he got almost 30, though. He got 26 against Washington. He had 17 against. So he's been mid because his other two games are vastly disappointing. 3 points and 9 points for a quarterback. No, and nobody.
Last week he only ended up with 9.78. Still less than 10.
He's got 2 good games out of 4 games. So right now he's like 500, right? So you can't really. He's got 2 good games out of 4. Can I really knock that? I'm not going to knock that.
And like I said, at the time that I had to pick him up, Jackson Dart hadn't played it down.
Well, that's another thing, though. Let's think about this too. Jackson Dart could end up being that guy. Like, he could end up having a player. Let me look at my quick because I might be talking myself into him at this point. Because I'm looking at my roster. I got Fields. I got Fields and Goff. I don't really see a reason to have Dart on this team, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I would never start him over. Well, I might. Hold on. Let me see here. You know what I'm going to do? I just talked myself into him myself. I'm getting him out of here. I'm getting Dart on my team right now. And I'm going to keep him just in case. Because the thing is, I don't know. My quarterbacks aren't strong enough for me here. You know who I'm going to drop to add Dart on my team? You know who I'm getting out of here? The Ravens. The Ravens defense is out of here. You're out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I love you, but I can't keep you.
Yeah.
All right, so I just added Jackson Dart. I'm going to keep him on my bench. And you know what, when Jackson Dart has an opportunity to be a starter on my team, because look at my team. I have Jackson Dart, Jared Goff, and Justin Fields. I don't really have a guy. None of these guys are Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels. Even Matt Stafford is doing better than all these guys. You know what I mean?
I got Stafford, but the reason Stafford and Goff are both out in week 8. and I have one of those situations.
I didn't even look at that. Let me look at Golf's weeks. Oh my God, I didn't even look at that. When is his? I don't see when his bye week is.
See, because I have a team where I have Matt Stafford, Geno Smith, and Jared Goff, and all of them are out in week 8. I don't know what I'm going to do for a quarterback in week 8.
Man, my
That's
week 8 is devastating too, and on a lot of my team, my week 8 is devastating. I'm missing like 4 or 5 players. A couple of my leagues, I've just already taken the L for that week. Week 8 is going to be an L for me unless I get a miracle from somebody.
Yeah. Week 8 tends to be pretty bad for a lot of us. So let's see. I think you said the next one. What is Extraordinary Gentleman?
Extraordinary Gentleman, not an Extraordinary Gentleman. It's going to be the last minute league, the one that Bill has.
Yeah.
My team in that league is Patrick Mahomes. Ashton Gentoo finally did something for me last week. Jonathan Taylor. I'm starting Charbonnet here because I think got somebody on. Let me see who's missing. I don't really have anybody missing. Got Golden. Maybe I would have started Golden there. Otherwise, Schrader. I don't know why am I carrying 2 kickers, man. I might get this. Oh, no way in the world I should be carrying 2 kickers. Taylor, Charbonnet, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Williams at the wide receiver position. That's kind of weak. Why are my wide receivers so weak? I'm looking here. Yeah, my wide receivers are weak on this team, man. I have Williams and JSN. And then I'm starting Travis Etienne in my flex. Got Kelsey. I got the Kelsey Mahomes stack there. Vikings on my defense who've been carrying me. And Schrader as my kicker. This team is kind of weak, to be honest with you. I have Golden on IR, so maybe he would have been another receiver I would have had in there, but I don't view this team as a strong team. And I think in this league, I'm 3-1 in this league. It's crazy.
Okay. Let's see. So what's your starting lineup here?
I got Patrick Mahomes, Ashton Gentoo, Jonathan Taylor, Zach Charbonnet, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jameson Williams, Travis Kelsey, Travis Etienne, Vikings defense, and Schrader here as my kicker for the Colts. Young kid for the Colts. I like him.
This team, when I name my lineup and I'm only 2-2, you'll see why I'm kind of perplexed with this team. Okay.
As I am with mine, for sure.
All right. Now, I did make a mistake and I didn't get Pearsall out there in time. But anyway.
What do you mean? Like you started him?
Yeah. And I didn't move him on Thursday.
Ooh.
So I got a big O there. But anyway. Okay. Listen to this team and you tell me why I'm 2-2. Okay. My quarterback is Daniels. Of course, I couldn't play him.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course, I couldn't play him last week because he was out. So, but anyway, Jaden Daniels is my quarterback. Saquon is my running back.
Man.
Javonte
looked amazing when you first started. That looked amazing for you.
Javonte Williams is my second running back.
Okay.
My flex wide receiver or running back is Derrick Henry. Nice. That's right. That's right. I got Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, and I got less than 20 points from the two of them together last week. Okay.
What a difference a year make. That would have been 40 points last year. You know what I mean?
Then I got Jacoby Myers. Okay. Okay. And Kyle Pitts he's my buy this week, so I got to put in a tight end. Let's see who's my tight end for. Oh man, I got to get a tight end because Farmouth is my other one, and the Steelers are on the bye.
Yes, sir. You might want to address that as these talks often have me doing. Look at my teams and addressing them as we're speaking about them.
Yeah, and then my flex. Now, once again, okay, I got Kettle on IR. Uh, Mooney's on a bye,
Mm-hmm.
so I might have to put in Wandale Robinson in here, and the
I mean, that's not
it's
terrible. I mean,
no,
you could
because
have, it could be worse options to put in there.
because that's another thing. Dart hasn't like got that one guy yet that I think he goes to. So the ball it's
Yeah,
kind
people were hoping it was going to be Neighbors, and now it allows Wanda Robinson or Slayton or one of the other guys to kind of present themselves and kind of become a favorite of Dart
right,
while Neighbors is not there.
yeah, and it's either got to
Build
be
that chemistry.
Robinson, and it's either got to be Robinson or it's got to be Slayton. So I'll definitely think about making that move there. Um, Normally, I'd have Dobbs there from Green Bay. Dobbs did me a hell of a thing last week, but he got 3
Yeah,
touchdowns.
man, Romeo. Yes, yes, yes.
Right.
Romeo can be
So,
that guy too. Like you never know. Maybe on our DraftKings league, I'll look at him this week and stuff. We'll see.
yeah. Romeo did me a big solid last week on my pick six for DraftKings. So Romeo's like now one of my favorite players, and not only that, but he's also one of Love's favorite targets, especially with the Reed is out. I'm not Reed. I know Reed is out right now, and they have another wide receiver. Who's the other wide receiver for Green Bay? That's not out. But anyway, right now the best 2 wide receivers for Green Bay are Dobbs and Golden. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah. Um, so my other flex is now Rico Dow. And the reason why I ran Rico out there is because they're playing against Miami.
So
And
where did you put him at? Oh,
uh,
this is a league you can start like multi. You can start more in this league though. Hold on, let me look at this
yeah,
league. I
you can
feel like
get
in
multi,
this league you can start more
you
running
can
backs
start
than normal.
you got a wide receiver running back a position, and then you got a flex position. So
So
you
you
can
can
run
start up to 4 backs in this league. Is what it
right,
is.
right.
Okay.
So
Okay. Which is
I
what I'm doing, by the way. I'm starting 4 backs also.
well I had to start him. It was either Rico or Cooper Cup, and actually or Sutton. And Sutton is it's Denver this week against Philly. Normally, I'd trot Sutton out there, but those Philly backs, have been playing, and that Philly defense has been
I
playing.
gotta run Sutton out there. I have no choice, man. That's crazy. He's my wide receiver too. Or really one. He's been my wide receiver 1 point wise ever since Worthy's been out. Because I drafted Worthy to be my wide receiver 1. But Worthy went out and Sutton ended up becoming my wide receiver 1.
Who's your backup in this league?
My backups in this league are not great.
No, I
But I
mean,
don't think
who's
this
your
team is
backup
great either.
quarterback?
Jakrosky Merritt. My backup quarterback is Cam Ward, who I would never play. So let me go ahead and drop him now. Let's go ahead and go to
Yeah, I
players.
got C.J. Stroud.
Let's go ahead and go to QBs. Let's see what the QBs are available. If Jackson Dart's available, I'm probably dropping Cam Ward for Jackson Dart. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna have him in like multiple leagues.
Yeah, I'm sure
Okay, so he's
Jackson.
not. Somebody's already came in and got Jackson Dart from here. So let me go ahead and get my boy. Hold on, let me look here. Let's look at the game log here. Okay, I'm gonna take my boy Aaron Rodgers. Let's go.
Oh, okay, all right. But
Let's go,
Aaron
Aaron.
is
And Cam Ward,
Aaron.
you're out of here.
Yeah. Well, like I
Cam's
said,
out of here for Aaron, bro. But these guys will probably never play. I mean, you're backing up Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I would always play Patrick over any of these guys. So I'm getting a backup quarterback just in case anything happens.
and
But
with
you see what I'm saying
Patrick's
here.
bye
I
is,
don't anticipate them playing.
but Patrick's bye week is week 10, right?
I'm not sure when his bye week is. The fact that Aaron Rodgers is on his bye week now is definitely what made it attractive because I'm not gonna have to deal with that with Aaron Rodgers from this point forward. So that definitely was what more attractive kind of made me push. So it's a few things. Being a Steelers fan, of course, which you should never pick based on your fandom. But I picked him because I'm a Steelers fan, and I also picked him because he's on a bye currently. and I got Mahomes. I don't necessarily anticipate him playing, but if Mahomes can't go 1 week, at least I got another guy that's not Cam Ward. Cam, it's not doing it for me right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, let me let you get out of here, Reg. I know it's usually a little past time. Glad you were able to spend a little extra time with us today.
Well, I'm going to be going out of town here soon, man. I wanted to go ahead and give as much as I possibly can before I go out of town. Final word to be good luck, everybody, this weekend. If you're like me and you're floating in my home league, I'm floating in that 1-3 club. Guys, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. We still got a couple more weeks before we got to throw in the towel, guys. So hope springs eternal. James, hopefully I'll see you out there in the DraftKings league here, man. I don't like not being able to talk crap to you appropriately here. You know what I mean? Like I'm having to talk it to you kind of like on the outside. So hopefully, James, to get you into the league so I can talk crap directly to you here this next week. That's if I win.
Since you talked so much crap this morning, I have to go out.
I hope to see you out there, man, because I can't have you running here, man. Because then I'm about to bring us to the other shows. I gotta let the guys know he's running from us.
I'm getting ready to set me a lineup right now, Reg.
Okay, because you're one of the founding members, man. Everybody's in this top 4 or 5 that are playing in this first few groups. They're all like the founding members, and then these other guys, I might end up kicking them out later. We never know.
Just to make sure, send me an invite.
Okay, so I'll send you a direct invite for the contest, but you should be able to see the contest in the league. But I'll send you a direct invite from the contest. As a matter of fact, let me do that now, just so I don't forget.
I've been in DraftKings a little bit longer, and I probably got more leagues than some that I don't even participate.
I didn't even know that you could do a league, man. That's how out of it I was. All right, so let's go ahead here. I'm gonna send you an invite for the contest. I'm gonna submit my lineup probably a little bit later. Oh, we already got a couple people in here now, but I'm gonna submit my lineup probably a little bit later today. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna send you a direct invite. How do I do that? Let's go here. I don't see.
It should be one there that says invite players
I don't see the way to invite to the league though. Like I see you you're in here, but I don't see a way to.
What league is that again?
It's called you are definitely in here. The band of remarkable camels. I did not choose that name, by the way. Band of remarkable camels. I definitely see you in here.
I'm in. I know I'm in there, but what is it? RTJ.
Yeah, so it should be band of remarkable camels. You scroll down. You should scroll down to leagues. You see my league there, and then when you click in the league, it's the only contest running. It's only got 2 entries in it right now. But I'm about to put my entry in probably a little bit later. Most people put their entries in tomorrow.
I try to put mine in before the Thursday night game. I'm actually in my Smash Up Sports League, where I'm playing head to head. I played 6 Rams, and I got 102 points going into Sunday.
Okay, here we go. I can invite you. All right, I got you.
Okay.
I'm going to invite you right now. I can send it to you. So what do you want me to send it to? Your text mail, or I can send it to your DraftKings name? Which one do you want to
send it to my DraftKings?
Okay.
Because then it'll show up in my email. And I can just click right on and go right in.
All right. So I just sent it to you just now. Hopefully you see you out there. Hope you stop running from us out here, James. We'll be listen, man. Nothing to be scared of, man. We're not gonna we don't bite over here, man. We're just all trying to win, James. Nothing to be scared of here, man.
See, yeah, here you go right now. See, Reggie has emailed you, has invited you to a contest. So, all right, here I go right now.
10, jump in there, and then we're gonna see what happens, man. I had a week.
What's that? 25 player winner take all.
Yeah. So what the thing is that the goal for this league, James, because we only had about 4 or 5 players playing consistently, but that's growing every week. So we started with a couple players playing consistently, then 3 players playing consistently, then 4, then 5, and I feel like that's going to grow. I want to grow the league to about 40-ish players is what I'm going to grow it to, so that the pot every Sunday can be a few $100s or so. And give people a legitimate chance to win, but it's going to be for players who actually play, because all the people that have invited are players who play. But I'm not really going to be super anal about that until a season or two down the line, where I'm going to be like, all right, start kicking people out the league.
Well, you got a big game coming, Reg, and I know you didn't. Maybe you just didn't want to mention it after your victory last week, but
Roll Tide, man. Roll Tide, absolutely.
you're playing Bandy, right?
Yeah, I'm not.
Five,
Hope springs eternal, but I don't know. I don't know, man.
5-0 Vandy, the ones that kicked your ass last year.
Yes, I remember. I remember that. And actually, I feel better about our chances because of that. To be honest with you, because we took that chance. I feel like we're gonna go in there with a chip on our shoulders. Or are they coming? I'm not sure if we're playing that in Tuscaloosa or where we're playing that game at. But
I think you're playing Tuscaloosa. I think
if they're coming to Tuscaloosa, hopefully we're gonna give them that old Crimson Tide welcome there. But we can't. I haven't forgot that loss, so I'm pretty sure that they haven't forgot it either. And I'm hoping that they use that to like supercharge themselves to a win.
Well, you're coming off you might have the mode. You're coming off a big win.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Beating Georgia is great, man, because now, especially for a guy like me who's in Georgia, I get to talk to all these guys, man. The same way that I'm talking to you about this DraftKings, I've been talking to them all week. Yeah,
well, my Buckeyes are playing Minnesota this week.
Ohio always looks good, man. You don't have really much to worry about.
You know, I was looking at DraftKings this week, and if you pick Texas, Arch Manning only has to have over, I think it's 220 yards.
Who are they playing against?
Texas is, I forget who they're playing. But saying the Ohio State quarterback has to throw for over, I think it's 200, I want to say 250 yards. And if I was going to bet college, I would bet on Arch and Sand going over. Like I said, Sand's going against.
You're taking the over on both of those quarterbacks. What you're doing?
Oh yeah, Sand should definitely go more than that over Minnesota. Minnesota is not really that good this year, and Texas is playing an unranked opponent where Arch Manning should look really good. So those would be my two if I was
picks of the day.
Yeah, but you know, do you think this might be Hopkins' week to break through and score a touchdown?
Man, like it's hard to say because like with Hopkins, it's been super boom bust, right? Because you got a guy just like you said. We would brought up another player where you like he had Smith-Schuster, I think you brought up, where you like a guy can have two catches, but one of them could be a 30-yard touchdown catch. Like it's like, how do you trust that? Because the volume is not there, and for Hopkins, the volume has consistently not been there for Hopkins, and it's hard to say now that Cooper Rush is there. Like, are there any wide receivers I would ever run out because Cooper Rush is starting? No, I'm never going to look at myself and say, it's Cooper Rush now. Maybe my guy is valuable. I mean, I'm not. I mean, we all know that that's how it could go, but it's just not how I would ever approach it myself, because you never know when these new quarterbacks come in who they're going to like, and sometimes it's not the guy that the other guy liked. So it does happen. I wouldn't bet on it though.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I put Hopkins in this week instead of Bateman, because it's Cooper Rush and he's not used to having that one target, and he might distribute the ball around.
You never know.
It might be Flowers and Cooper Rush this week, and then back to normal when Lamar gets back. But if this was
it'd be Andrews Flowers show when Lamar gets back.
If this is a week, that I'm going to have any hope for DeAndre, I would say it was this one. Because I think Lamar has he has, like you say, it's the Flowers show, and the Flowers and the Andrews. He still likes his Mark Andrews,
Yeah,
Everybody
for
thought
sure.
everybody thought Likely would become his new target, but he still likes his Andrews.
Yeah, that's because Likely, I think, has been out. I want to say, I think Likely's had injury issues, and Likely had a great games a year ago. But I feel like Mark Andrews kind of later into the season kind of reestablished himself, so that kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Kansas City. You have a guy with the potential, like like Gray, but
Right.
that Kelsey is going to be the man when it comes down to who he's going to look for. You know,
Yeah, who has the trust? Like the trust of
right?
the coaches, the trust of everybody on the team. I think, except Gray, we might have Kelsey out there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's the same way with Mark Andrews. I mean, you'll have a couple games with Likely, but 9 times out of 10, Lamar is more comfortable with Andrews. So
Yes, the proven commodity.
yeah, and hey, let's hope Henry and Saquon can, put some points on the board this week. I would imagine, if Henry's going to get the bulk of the workload. It's going to be this week also with Cooper Rush there, even though Cooper can put the ball in the air. But I look for Derek to get most of the work. So we'll see. But the Ravens definitely have to get back on, the winning track. Uh,
Yes, they do. 1-3, man. They're dangerous hope of dangerous um trouble of the season being over for them in October, depending on how October goes.
yeah, and and we all have a pretty tough schedule after the bye week as far as our division is concerned. So, hey man,
Yeah.
glad you could stick around with us for so long. Have a good week. I shall see you next week, and then after that, hey, we got to say bon voyage. You got to send something back for the sports crib,
Hey
man.
man, I got. I'll see what I can do
Seriously,
from these Egyptian shores, man. I'll see what I can send back, man.
yeah. King Tut in the Steelers uniform. There you go.
We'll see what we can do, man. Good luck on all your lineups here, everybody. Good luck there, James. If you're in our DraftKings league, good luck here to you, man. I'm gonna try to beat you down. We'll see what happens. Um, I'm gonna try. I like trying to beat James in as many leagues as I possibly can, and I think that I am in. This will be DraftKings leagues. Will be the fourth league that I'm in with James, and I'm
Yep.
gonna try to beat it every single week. We'll see how that goes. And when the smash up lineups, it's gonna be 5. So we'll see what we can do here, man.
Smash up lineups. I do better, but you guys are like this week. I mean, right now I'm 2-2 in most leagues. So only thing that Reggie, I'm coming for you. Not now that you've made sure that I get in the sport now. Is that winner take all every week or winner take
Yeah, it's
all
winner
every?
take all every week. I only do the 1 and 4 o'clock games so that the payout comes immediately after the 4 o'clock games are over.
Oh,
So,
oh, oh, my
so it's
goodness.
only the 1 and 4 o'clock games. It pays out every Sunday. And $10 entry pays out every Sunday, winner take all. And then hopefully over the next couple of years, we'll have this up to 30, 40 players with people playing consistently.
All
And
right,
I'll be
man. Well,
money.
you have a good one, and I'll see you next week.
All right, guys. See you later. See you
All
later,
right.
bud.
Have a good one, man. Hey, make sure everybody get your draft picks in. Make sure that you keep up with Reggie and I and the crew, and hopefully we'll have Patrick back next week. Have a good one, everybody. See you next week right here on the Fantasy Show.